the GT cars get this hype and everyone talks about these GT track cars.
That's the next question. Where's it going to end? Prices just skyrocketed. I think if anything, this is their opportunity to do like a last hurrah.
It could be quicker than my 18 Spider, like the top model, which in a Cayenne is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Richard, the market manager at Porsche at South Lakes.
And I'm Joe, the Porsche Pro. So we're going to be talking about some Porsche topics today, new models, bit of new technology.
Everything.
Yeah, upcoming things, yeah. So
right, let's go. 911 Turbo S. So Porsche have announced quite recently, and we've not seen them through at the centre yet, the latest model with the T Hybrid.
Yeah, excited to see that because we've got T Hybrid in the GTS now. So it's sort of an enhancing electrification of what is a flagship 911 with a petrol engine, and then they've upped it even further in that turbo.
Yeah, so it's not hybrid drive, which is what everyone's fear at the moment is, isn't it? With like obviously the electrification of different models, this is not an electric driving 911. This is the electric spooling turbos and that sort of drive of performance enhancement rather than actually driving on the electric.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most of the power is still from the petrol engine, but we've now got electric turbo. So the response is sharper and quicker. So the engine makes more power quicker. And there's a small electric motor in the gearbox that can infill when the combustion engine can't produce its peak power. So yeah, it's really an enhancement over what we've had before. And it's really cool to see. It's in the GTS. It's now in the Turbo and Turbo S. I've
experienced, and I think you have as well, obviously the new GTS, and you can definitely feel the difference with that electric turbo between the outgoing version of the GTS compared to the latest one. So it'd be really interesting to see. I've seen also the influencers and stuff have all been all over it at the minute on social media, all launch controlling and all this sort of stuff. So it looks phenomenally fast, as obviously the Turbo S will be, but it's sort of interesting to see the comparisons between the previous one and this one and where they can go with it.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it. Like, we were privileged enough to drive the outgoing GTS on track with the new one with the T Hybrid system, and the low down responsiveness, like, you could totally feel it. Massive difference. So in the Turbo S, we now have two turbos, not one, and they're both electrically driven as well as driven by the gases from the engine. So there's going to be even more oomph, even more low down go, and Turbo S's are always absolutely ballistic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to drive.
It's probably, speaking to customers, although the GT cars get this hype and everyone talks about these GT track cars, I think that's the car that is the most universal with most customers, because it's the one that you can take to the track, you can hound it around the track, you can take it on a European driving trip, or you can take it down to shops and do your local shopping, and it covers all bases. It's just that versatile car.
Yeah, definitely. Like, GT cars, they're quite specific, and you've got to be in the mood for them. I mean, you can do everything in them, but there are compromises because it's rather focused what it's built for. Whereas the Turbo is inevitably built for the road, but with matching performance in terms of acceleration and power. And they still handle superb. I mean, even a Carrera is a fantastic car.
And talking about the Carrera, we did an event recently called Rentag, which is like our local big Porsche car meet. And we did some test drives, doing like a hill climb in just the base Carrera. And so many people just saying that, wow, with the performance of that, and just never really expecting it. And it's, I think for most people, the base like 911 Carrera is a phenomenal car.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, I always say, like, Porsche don't make slow cars. So even the starting point in the range is a quick car, and they just get quicker from there. Turbo S's peak performance in 911 range, like, it doesn't come any quicker. Yeah, I mean, that's the next question. Where's it going to end? Because it's over 700 horsepower now in the new one. Like, how much more can they give you? And with Porsches, they generally are 700 horsepower, if not a little bit more, when they say they're making that power. They really do.
It's just going to be crazy, like, where they can, because with the electrics, we've already seen like over 1,000 horsepower and all this massive amounts of torque. So what they're going to get, are they going to get over that 1,000 horsepower in a Porsche 911.
Yeah, it might come. I mean, that's sort of one of the topics on the rumour mill at the minute is the next special car. I definitely think we're going to see a GT2 in this current generation 911, and I'm pretty sure it's going to have that T hybrid engine in it.
Yeah. And obviously we were saying about some special stuff coming. We don't know anything more really than what is out there in the public domain. No like major insights there, but we can see what other people are seeing on the socials and what's being driven around the Nurburgring, all these like different test mules and some pretty interesting stuff that we've seen out there at the minute. So the likes of, there's been new Panameras with big wings on the back. There's been cabriolet versions of GT cars. There's been slant nose versions, like based on the 991, but like new versions of that have been tested around. So obviously we know that Porsche must test loads of different stuff, and not everything makes it to market, but it's quite interesting, also quite exciting to see what might be coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice to know that there might be some special GT versions of other cars in the range, like a Panamera GT. That'd be a cool bit of kit. We did a Cayenne Turbo GT a few years ago, and yeah, it was a Cayenne. It was compromised. You got a higher center of gravity. It's never going to be the best in terms of handling, but for the package, it was the best SUV I've ever been in terms of handling and how it drove around a track.
Well, we had a customer take it to our track day, and he's overtaking some of the customers that obviously he can drive, and some of the other customers maybe we could say weren't on the top level of being able to motorsport driving, and he does a lot of track days and racing, but he was overtaking some GT cars in his Cayenne, which was quite funny, with 3 people in the car and a lot of luggage in the back. So it's a phenomenal car. And obviously another customer took one on a European trip as well, and obviously he was keeping up with all the GT cars. He was having loads of fun, and he definitely had the fun when we went up the Grossglock and it was wet and misty, and he was like four-wheel drive heavy car, loving it, and we were all like, a bit twitchy here. But there's also some other different things like cabriolet versions of the GT car, which obviously we've had the Touring, which has been like no rear wing and that sort of stuff. So to see a cabriolet version, if it comes down the line, will be something really interesting.
Yeah, because you've had like Speedster in the past. That's a cool car. So whether something like that comes back.
So well, yeah, that's the other thing. Maybe not it could be a cabriolet. It might be a test for the latest generation of the Speedster, which obviously in the 991 looked phenomenal. It was a really, really cool car. We had a couple come through at the centre. And so there's some really interesting stuff in the pipeline. Obviously, some new electrics are coming down the pipeline as well. We've got the new Cayenne EV that's hopefully launching shortly. We'll hopefully see it at the centre soon, but that's looking like some of the stats that are being rumoured. Again, we've not seen anything come through, but like a decent towing capacity, decent range, quick charging, hopefully fits in well with the petrol and petrol hybrid, which aren't going away. So you'll be able to have the selection of what you want, whether you're wanting to go petrol, when we go electric, it's having that selection, which I think seems to be what Porsche are going down with now, with what Oliver Blumer said on a conference call with investors recently, is that some of the things that are going to be coming down the pipeline are going to give customers that selection. If they want to go the electrics, if they want to go the petrol, you want to go the hybrid, they'll have that selection within the range of Porsche models.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go, because Porsche is so bespoke, the cars from the factory, but you need to have the right model to start with. And I think Porsche were maybe slightly naive that the market was going to go full electric and everything was just going to transition in this perfect world. And we've not seen that. Don't get me wrong, the electric cars are absolutely superb and there is a market for them, but it's not for everyone right now at this given time. So if we can have multiple products where customers say, right, a Cayenne is the car for me, it fits my lifestyle, I can get the family in and go away with the bikes, but I want petrol because I love a V8, right, we offer that. Oh, I want hybrid because it works 50-50. Or, you know what, I love electric. I like how it drives. I like how easy it is, the cost of running it. So it just broadens the spectrum of customers that can get into that model. So, yeah, it's a good option. We just have to give it time for the range to expand. But I think it'll work really well. It'll work really well with how Porsches have been sold previous, because now you can get cars with V6s, you can get hybrids, you can get V8s. You know,
it gives that selection to the customer again. Like what you said, like Porsche's always been bespoke, and it's giving the option to the customer, how do you want your car? Now it's giving the option of not like, do you want, like, this is the electric car, and this is how you can spec the interior and the color and stuff. It's, this is the car. Do you want it petrol hybrid, electric, and that, which I think is a great option. And say it opens the customer base up, and obviously worldwide, it makes it more flexible with different markets as well, which is great. And I think some of the exciting stuff that was coming from that conference call as well is development time is coming down from 5 years to 3 years, which means there's obviously a lot more flexibility in them being able to sort of move with developments and stuff, which I think you have to have now, especially with the Chinese markets coming out with different models all the time and developments. I think having that reduced development time and flexibility really helps.
Yeah, people want things sooner. Technologies move so quick. And that's what'll be nice when the new Cayenne EV comes out, because that's going to be probably the most up-to-date car we've had. Like, we've seen shots of the interior and it looks really quite digital. There's curved screens in it. Yeah, I mean, it's looking really cool, and like just the level of detail they've gone into. I mean, even like the armrests you can get heated. So
it's all like options of what would you want as a customer. And we on our European trip that we did last year, we actually saw a test mule, which was a Macan EV body, but inside had all the gubbins of the EV Cayenne and had that curved screen. And we were talking to the guy that was driving it, and we were just like, what is this? And he was like telling us about, obviously, like this Cayenne, and we're like, it's got a curved screen. It looked like the folding flip phones he had. And we're like, that's got to be something just to test now. And then when we saw the actual like shots from Porsche a bit coming out, we're like, wow, that's in there. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and it's still a proper Porsche. I mean, if you want to go fast, they're going to offer one with over 1,000 horsepower. So,
well, I've heard rumors that it could be quicker than my 918 Spider, like the top model, which in a Cayenne is just ridiculous. Talking of Oliver Blumer, though, he's now left Porsche, so he's fully into his Volkswagen Group role.
Yeah, it was a dual role he had at VW and Porsche, so he's now resigned from the Porsche side and he's gone over back to VW just to manage that 100%.
And we've now got Michael Leiters. Is that, I presume that's how you pronounce it? I hope I'm right. Dr. Michael Leiters. So he's got quite a bit of experience in the automotive sector, and he's been at Porsche before.
Was he not an intern, but like an assistant at Porsche many years ago?
Porsche for 13 years, responsible for Macan and Cayenne series. So he's got some experience with obviously Porsche, but obviously most recently McLaren and a bit of Ferrari as well. So he's not new to the luxury premium sort of car space, and a lot of experience with our competitors as well.
Yeah, and I think it's a good time for him to come in, because we've got such a big change now with the diversity of the models and trying to get this full powertrain lineup out. And it's good just to have a new leader that's on board with that and can sort of see it from start to finish.
Yeah, and they've obviously changed a lot of board members as well at Porsche, so it seems like it's all change at once. Get a new refreshing of the board and the CEO, and take it in the next direction moving forward.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he brings to that. And we'll just finish on this podcast a bit of history. So Porsche recently celebrated 25 years of the Carrera GT, which is such an iconic car within the Porsche world. It was quite unique in its time with all the developments that were sort of put into it, and it's got this status now, this hypercar sort of level that we seem to come out with every 10 to 15 years or so. It's kind of started with, was it the 959?
Mm.
Then we've had, obviously, quite a few years ago now, the 918 Spider. So I just wanted your thoughts on where you think this next hypercar's going to go. So do you think with this change in Porsche, do you think they'll stick to going the electric route with it and have that sort of technology from that they've been developing around that? Or do you think they'll hybridize it? Or do you think they'll just go one last hurrah with this massive big engine thing?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're at like peak now for like the combustion engine. There's a load of manufacturers out there that are making or are buying engines off some very well-known manufacturers, and they're putting V12s and these high-revving natural aspirated engines in. And Porsche has always sort of stuck to the motto with their GT cars, and we've got the 4-litre that's in the GT3, the Touring, the 4RS, the GT3 RS, and they've clung on to that, and it's around 500 horsepower. And I think that ethos has to carry over. That's what the Carrera GT was, a superb engine that now is at a point where people are appreciating it so much. The price has just skyrocketed. I think if anything, this is their opportunity to do like a last hurrah. I would see it being hybrid because the hybrid just offers so much performance.
Yeah.
Like even a Panamera hybrid, like the way those things can accelerate is unbelievable. Would they go full electric? I mean, we've got Taycan Turbo GT, which you add another 500 horsepower. Like what more do you gain? And I think it's the complete experience. I think Porsche, they're too thoroughbred not to put a really nice petrol.
Do you think they'll get something like what's in the LMDH cars, like the Le Mans cars, and sort of have that hybridization, sort of top performance hybridization?
Yeah, or even if they just took, say, like the 4-litre that we have, which is 500 horsepower, then added hybridization to that, but even more than what we're used to. Yeah, I think it's got to be something motorsport drive. I'd love to see like a last hurrah with it, a great sounding engine that's in it.
That Ignition X though looks phenomenal. So if that is anything like what the real car comes like, it'll be great. Right, thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Porsche. We'll see you again next time.